On the grid, it is our blind photo critiques episode where we crush the hopes and dreams of photographers around the world. And let me tell you up front, it's not going to be a pretty day. Joining me as always, my co-host. He has friends in the Sudan. He loves a little ditty about Jack and Diane. He doesn't like Ginger, he likes Marianne. He's friends with Vince McMahon. He raps with Roxanne. His favorite CMYK color is cyan. He sails around in a catamaran. He's kicking it with Charlie Chan. It's the real Rocket Man, Erik Kuna. We got some news, some prizes. There's going to be lots of tears, and it all starts in just 36.5 seconds.
The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
It's not going to be good.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another live episode of The Grid. This is like episode, what, 504 or something?
500 and something.
500 and something, but we're glad you're here. Joining me, as always, Mr. Kuna, Mr.
Hey,
K.
how's it going? I'm excited for today after Scott told me.
Oh, yeah. This is not going to be a good day for the blind photo
I'm
critiques.
expecting the comments that will be how bad we are, how terrible we are, and then the comments in 3 to 6 months of how awesome we are and how I took your advice.
They followed our instructions, and now their stuff is great.
There you go.
But anyway, it's going to be
fun.
I would say that if you submitted photos to right now, go pour yourself a drink. just pour it.
Uh-oh, this is not good.
Just pour it. All right, there's that. We do have some news and stuff too. All right, so let's see.
And you're just going off of like your quick thumbnail because we don't do any like prep before the show.
Yeah, this is no prep stuff. This is
like
just me putting them in folders.
Yeah.
I got to put them in folders, and I got to remove the people's names.
Uh-oh.
That's basically it. My computer isn't. Do you want me to go straight into the HDMI here? Okay. All righty. Let me just. We're gonna try something different here. My computer's not on the case here, so let's see if
it definitely happens nowadays.
There we go.
We got tons of prizes to give away on the show.
Yeah, go ahead. Go with those prizes.
So,
go with them.
We got the Platypod multi-accessory kit. We're going to be giving away that. We've got Scott's Lightroom Classic book, giving away that. And then giving away another of Scott's book, the Travel Photography book. And then we're giving away another book. We've got How to Make Money While You're Sleeping by Rick Salmon, who was on last week's show. And then we're going to be giving away Boris Effects Optics, so a cool plugin for Photoshop and Lightroom. And then finally, the Noise Destroyer, On One No Noise. So if you want to enter the contest and win any of those, just leave a comment where you're watching. So anywhere you're watching, tell us what you want to win. Also tell us in the comments like where you're from. If you have any questions that come up, any feedback that come up, leave it in the comments. If we crushed your dreams and you want to tell us how bad we are, go ahead and do that in the comments there. Yeah, we're used to it. And then I can't tell you how many people that, again, come back like 3 to 6 months later and go, my initial reaction was to tell you how bad you are and how my photography is awesome and you're so wrong. And then I actually did what you said, and now I'm much better because of it.
Yeah. There's a lot of initial upsetness.
We all have a process.
Yeah, it's all a process. All right. So, and that's why we tell people, that's why on my submissions, I always say, are you not sure you're ready for a critique? And I wrote an article about what our critiques are about and what to expect. So you wouldn't go in there and get your dreams crushed. It's like,
right.
Yeah. So if you're just looking for a pat on the back, there are lots of places you can submit your photos that will give you that. Flickr, for example. Flickr's never seen a photo it doesn't like. You put a photo on Flickr, people are like, you're a genius. Quit your day job as an accountant and just do photography. But our whole thing is here is to not be mean, but to be honest, right? So we pretend that. And that's why it's blind. That's why we don't tell anybody's name, because we don't want to embarrass anybody, but we want to tell you the truth. So this is kind of like if Erik and I were sitting at a bar and somebody said, what do you think of these photos? I saw these on the web. What would we say? What would we really say? Because we've all been through critiques where the person critiquing just says every shot's great. These are great. They're wonderful. You're gifted. You're talented. And it's like sometimes someone needs to slap you and go, this is crap.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Today is one of those sell your camera days.
Uh-oh.
This is put your gear up for sale kind of days. So we got a couple of good ones, but it was like, we were just talking right before we went on the air, and Christina, I was telling her, it's going to be a rough day. And she's like, the last two have been very good, like really good photographers sending in really good photos. And when you just go, wow, your stuff's great, it doesn't help very much. Like when you just go, man, your stuff's rocking. Good job. It's nice for the photographer that sent them in, but I don't know how much it helps anybody else.
Right.
So it is going to be what it is. Let's see if you got my screen, guys. Is it working? All right, good.
Yeah, we got
All right,
it.
some real quick bits of news. So you guys may have remembered, if you've been watching us for years, that back in 2019, I announced a workshop in Prague where I was going to take.
I remember that. Yeah,
12 people
like
to Prague.
last decade.
Right?
Yeah.
So 12 of us were going to go to Prague, and then, of course, COVID hit, and then more COVID hit, and then more COVID hit. And here it is, 2022, and we still haven't gone, but we're going. So May 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, really. It's the 4th is kind of a dinner the night before, and then it's the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. We're going to Prague. Of the 12 people that signed up, 10 of them stuck in all this time. All this time they've stuck in. 2 of them just couldn't do the dates. We had to reschedule, and when we got to the dates, they couldn't do it. So I filled the other spot with someone that had been to one of my other workshops. I have one single ticket left. If you want to come with me and Mimo Madani to Prague in May, so a little more than 2 months, go to scottkelbyworkshops.com and grab that last ticket. And you can hang out with us in Prague. It's going to be amazing. Prague is one of the most architecturally amazing cities in the world. It is incredible for photography. It's a photographer's paradise. It's an incredibly photogenic city. Super nice people, super great food, super awesome. It's a fantastic place. I loved it, and I got a guy on the ground there. So I got a buddy of mine who makes his living as a photo guide there, is doing photo fixing for us to get us into places and get us lots of goodies and set up shoots and all kinds of cool stuff. So that's it. The workshop is called Pictured Perfect Prague, and I'd love to have you take that last seat. There's just one left. Also, if you know somebody that should go, like, man, you ought to go, this is your chance. So it's coming up in May, and we're going. Everything's booked, man. We're going. We've all been waiting so long. And can I tell you this? I've got such a great group of people. Like, I know everybody in here from previous workshops of mine, with the exception of just one or two people. And they're awesome. It is going to be like a great group of folks. Like, if you just want to have a blast, this is your chance. All right. What else is coming up? We have a conference.
Go ahead. Yeah, we got a conference.
The Landscape Conference is coming up, and it is booming. So if you want to go, get on board right now. It's going to be March 29th through 30th with a pre-conference workshop the day before. We've got great instructors. We got a great class schedule. It is going to be awesome, and we want you to be there. So come and join us.
Incredible.
It's all online, and it is going to be phenomenal. So for those of you who've been to one of our conferences before, you know how much we put into these conferences to make them fantastic and make them a great learning experience. And you can watch in your underwear, and so it's very comfortable. Because if you're at a convention center, they really frown on you wearing underwear.
You can try.
You can try, and people have, but it doesn't go that great. It goes kind of like today's grid's going to go. Yeah. And let's see what else. What other news do we have?
Well, so I was going to say, if you can't make it over to Europe and want to make it to the United States, I'm going to be teaching at the Nightscapers photo conference in April. And actually, let me bring it up on the screen. I told them I wasn't going to show the screen, but that's always...
And now you're going to show the screen.
What I do, There we go. So now they should be... Oh, never mind. I got to turn my software. But anyways, if you go to kel.by/night22, and I'll get that up on the screen later. But yeah, check it out. You can go over there to the Nightscaper Photography Conference.
Also in the United States, I'm going to be speaking at the Visual Storytelling Conference. So I'm doing part of the keynote, and I'm also doing a session. So this conference is for busy.
Yep.
It's for business and creativity for photographers and online video creators. So if you are a content creator or anything like that, it's a visual storytellers conference. And again, I'm doing part of the keynote. So I have a segment of the keynote, and then I'm doing a whole section on basically presenting and creating killer slide decks that, inspire and, get people to take action. So
and that's going to be a great
all that
class.
stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also speaking at B&H Photos Optic event, which is coming up, I think, next month. So that's going to be fun. Lots of cool stuff. It's great to see, all the conferences ramping back up and stuff like that. So that's kind of fun. All right, you guys ready to? Let's go. All right, let me just close this and I got a bunch of images open from screen captures I'm making, which I don't really need right now. Let's instead start with here one. Here we go. You guys see that? Not yet. There we go. So we have 3 images here. All right. I think we have a hit and a miss and a close.
Yeah.
So this one's the best, I think, far and away of the 3. It's nice in its simplicity in that the light is kind of soft. The background's out of focus. You have decent separation. The cropping is probably not ideal. There's probably a little more headroom than you need up top, but that's just kind of a minor thing. The only thing that I would say, because this looks like it is lit with flash, and if you look under her chin, you can see a defined shadow, and I can see right in the center of her eyes is a dot that looks like lighting. So what I would say is to take this to that next level is instead of photographing with your flash straight onto your subject where you get a very flat look, it would add a little more depth and dimension if you moved it to the side, like to a 45-degree angle. I think it would be more flattering for your subject. The lighting, but I mean the lighting's not bad on this one. This one's is not bad. This looks like you pulled your car up and you just said, all right, just sit there. The lighting here is the exact opposite of the other one, which is it's very flat, it's very harsh.
Blasted. In fact, the shadows are gone. It's almost like a
ring flash or something, but it looks more like car headlights.
But it's blasted.
But then you did the one thing that really just took it down a big notch.
Oh, the selective.
You left the sneakers in color. You did the selective color thing. Now, I will say this. There's 2 schools of thought of this. The public does not hate this. The public does not hate the color thing. But the photography community hates this technique on a level, the passion of 1,000 burning suns. This is considered instant death within the photo community. Like if you talk to somebody else, they did selective color.
I have to I agree with you, but I think it's given a bad name. If used properly, it's
I
good.
have seen it used occasionally,
but it's very rare. It's
and it's not this one.
Yeah, it's not this one, and that's when you get down to it. There's really the shoes too. There's not a prominent color with it.
Now, this particular, setting aside the bad post processing, this particular look, I know what you're going for.
Oh yeah,
right? Because you can get that ring flash. I'm in a alley in Hollywood kind of thing. You got to look at more photos where they're really pulling this off to see what your path is to get there.
Right away, where does your eye go? It goes to knees,
and their hands,
and the bottom of whatever that thing is.
Yeah, the concrete thing. Yeah,
right. And it's just that's not where you want to be looking in that photo.
She's also not giving you anything expression-wise. Really, this is the best expression, and it's not great. And this one, again, I see what you're trying to do, and I actually applaud it.
I think this one has the most potential.
This one has potential.
Of the 3. I mean, the middle one that you were talking about is the good photo, but it's kind of just,
Yeah, and you're doing the blinds, shooting through the blinds. This has some potential, but again, what I would say is go look at people who have really nailed this to see, because one thing that you would see is the blinds here aren't obvious enough. and this is the one I would have made black and white, by the way, but the blinds aren't obvious enough to make it look like it's just something's not wrong. Like when you see this film noir kind of effect, right, where you've got it's a very, very defined look, and her eyes aren't in black sockets, and it's just so. I think this isn't a camera problem. And it's not quite as much of a lighting problem as I'm making it sound like. This is kind of a vision problem, which you just really need to look at more images like this, because you are trying to do a thematic. You're trying to do things which I applaud you for, so don't take that the wrong way. Like you're trying to do the blind effect, the film noir thing. You're trying to do the Hollywood kind of ring flash, you know, like a reporter ran up and took the shot kind of look. And then you're trying to do like a very nice senior portrait type of thing. They're all kind of in the ballpark, but you're still on first base.
Well, and I think
we got to get you around the plates to home.
Yeah, so you're looking at it. That's where you have to like look at all three. I totally agree. That's what I would have said is you have a consistent look in those genres of like trying to imitate something. It's just now figuring out how to make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying, it's not camera settings. It's more like what is the picture going to tell? Like, what's the expression? What's the emotion? What's the frame?
Yeah, what's the story? Because, I mean, the story here is, this looks like you're getting ready to take a shot. These are just practice shots, hang on. But if you see some people that are really good at these genres, you're going to go, oh, go to 500px and look for like film noir and look for that, look for stuff that is, because when you see, like you'll see in Vegas a lot, Vegas got really big on making this look like a reporter came up and took the shot with a ring flash, but the people are very fashionable and hip, or they're the depressed teen look, you know, like, you know, they're buying their clothes at Old Navy, so they're depressed. No, I'm just kidding. That's the TV ad. They're making fun of Old Navy. Anyway, no, it wasn't TV. It was SNL last night.
Yeah, Saturday Night
I was watching
Live,
SNL reruns. Anyway, but long and short is, I love that you're going for these things. So don't take that the wrong way. And you're at first base. Let's get you to second base. But I think the secret is looking at other people that are nailing this stuff and really analyzing. So what did they do in this shot that makes it look so good? And the more you do this breaking down of other people's photos, the easier it will be for you to get that type of look, right? But the last thing I would leave you with is, you know, when you're photographing people, their expression is absolutely key. And Peter Hurley is great at looking at a photo and goes, she's giving you nothing. This is nothing. And if you look at this photo on screen, what is she giving you? She looks like, is this over yet? Are we done? Can we, you know? So that's really not probably the story you're trying to communicate. Is I was really impatient because this didn't seem like it was going anywhere. And God, please don't let my shoes stay in color. That's all those thoughts are going through her mind right there in this miserable look that she has on her face. Anyway, but so let's get you off of first base, head to second. And you can do that literally by looking. All right, coming up next, we got a lot more photos. We got some shout outs, and we're going to go quicker on the rest of these because we spent quite a bit of time on that one. So let's, and for no special reason other than it was first. And typically we always overspend too much time on the first one. So we come back, we'll whip through some more. Don't go away. All right, I love Lightroom as much as anybody. Lightroom is awesome. It's great for making things brighter and darker and changing the color, changing the contrast. It's great for doing more of the stuff that you do in your camera. But Photoshop is where the magic is. And I just put together a class on one of the most magical parts of Photoshop. It's why you want to go to Photoshop. It's layers. I have a class on mastering layers, and the whole thing is project-based. I'm not just going to go, here's how you delete a layer, and here's how you add a layer. No. We're going to be able to build projects from scratch, and it's going to be so much fun. You're going to learn so many aspects. You're going to unlock a whole new world of the way you work in Photoshop.
You're going to go through this whole class, and you're going to go, holy cow, I can do this. There's not going to be a single thing that I show you in this class that you're going to go, I can't do it. It's too hard. Nope. Where do you find it? It's exclusively at kelby1.com.
Boris FX Optics is the definitive digital toolbox for image editing, visual effects, and optical filter simulation. Available as a plugin for Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom, and as a standalone application. Created by Academy Award-winning effects artists, Optics brings Hollywood-quality visual effects to your images. It's easy to explore your creativity with 174 unique filters. Choose from the thousands of installed presets. And use the comprehensive layer and masking system to turn simple photos into cinematic masterpieces. Add light with lens flares, light leaks and gobos. Add style with film stocks and looks. And with Optics 2022, add realistic particle-based effects like smoke, fire, sci-fi and more. All fully customizable to create a unique image. With affordable licensing options and a free trial version, there's no reason not to see for yourself why professional photographers, artists and designers love working with Boris FX Optics. Download it now.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Oh. Uh-oh. We might be live.
There we go. Hello, everyone. We're back. We like to have a dramatic pause right before we go live, just to keep things dramatic and pausey. Hey, I have some news.
Yes.
Did you see my new shirt? Look at this new shirt. Custom. Ready? That's Dave Clayton's new logo. That's the Dave Clayton logo.
Ah.
And I asked him to send me the graphic, and I went and had a custom shirt made. Dave Clayton, British superstar designer.
The problem is, I would think, if I saw it, I would think DC Comics.
I know, but it's not. It's Dave Clayton Comics. Anyway, right. I love his logo. I love it. Awesome. It's like it's a D and it's a C and it's
yeah, that's great.
I never thought of that DC thing. Now
it's
you're
making
me,
right? You know, it's one of those where you're like, yeah.
I know, but dude, nobody's got this shirt. It's like, you know,
I love it.
It's like cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get back to crushing.
Shall we? You gonna run the clock now?
Yep, I'm running.
All right, running the timer. All right, here we go. Let's go. All right, before I go on, I just want to say, I love this shot.
Yes,
dude, that shot's taken out in bright sunlight. I love the ground. It looks like it's on the boardwalk at the beach. I love the sky. I love the post-processing. It's so chromy and shiny, and that's really, really well done.
Yeah, and some will say it's fake, but it's just looks cool.
However it's done, I mean, I think the shadow is fake, but whatever. I love it. This one. This is really good. Looks like it's done at Old Car City, but I don't know. Anyway, an old like Bel Air or something. Yeah. Looks really cool. I like the some of the reflections and the grit and all. I don't know what's going on here. How did this slip in there? Don't know. But all I would say to this photographer is, I mean, obviously this is a very accomplished photographer. Yeah. I would say, man, that's phenomenal. This is really good. I don't know. It's fine. But it's just, it's so out of character.
Yeah, it is.
You know what it is? I just want to see another one of your car shots right here. I just want to see one of your car shots. But that's very nicely done. There's not a thing wrong with it. It's nice, but it's like.
I just think when you compare it to the other two.
Come on. That. What? I mean, if you just sent this in and no cards, I'd be like, well, that's a nice landscape.
Yeah.
It's not like blow my mind landscape, you know, but it's like nice. It's nicely done. It's, you know, it's a little mist on the ground and nice colors. It's all good, you know, but I mean, those other ones like pow. All right. So I would just tell that photographer, you were nailing the car stuff. Make great car stuff. That doesn't mean you can't shoot anything else, but it's not in the same league as your other stuff.
If it's going to be a landscape, you got to up the landscape game.
Yeah, you're either going to up the landscape game.
And that's the hard part. When you start getting good at one thing, you got to get better at the other things. And you got to keep. Yeah, it's hard.
It's one or the other. All right, but good job though. I'm pretty jazzed about that. Hey, I got another one that's one of the better ones from today. Hold on, let me make it bigger. 1 second. I think if I bring it into camera raw, I can make it a bit bigger. All right, look at these. They're very nice. So there we go.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. Now they're kind of abstracty landscapes.
Yeah, so there's like a slow shutter technique. What's their shutter at?
But let me ask you a question. What's moving? It's a quarter of a second.
Yeah, yep.
What's moving? What would be moving? They're not shifting sands.
I think they might be actually up elevated and like moving with it, like panning.
I don't know. I'm thinking it is some kind of a post.
I've seen that same technique done at the beach a lot, you know, where you can pan across the beach.
But this is really not. These are beautiful. I think these are just really nice. They're fine art. You know?
It's definitely fine art, but I love how it is. I mean, it's actually very hard to do that and make it look, because there's that fine line where if it's too long of a shutter, it just turns into a big blur.
Yeah, and
too
these
short,
are nice.
It looks like an accident.
And the gradation of colors are so nice, and just is like, I mean, this looks like it could be the Palouse or something.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's the Palouse area.
But out in Washington State. But anyway, very, very nice. I mean, love it. Love it.
Again,
love
a great balance of that shutter speed.
All right, let's see what we already looked at those. All right, hit the timer.
All right. Well,
it's hard to say. I mean, I would say this is the best one because it's very sharp and it's crisp and it's very close up. And this is what, a crow, right?
Yeah, the birds we typically don't.
It's a very, very close, intimate shot of a crow, and that's kind of neat. This is a snapshot you took with your iPhone.
It's okay though.
It's not bad. The lighting is not terrible, but it's also not great. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's a cute shot of your kid with an iPhone. That's all right. And this is some bolts.
Rusty stuff on the table. Or on the ground.
And so what I would say about stuff like this, I'm just gonna make it a little bigger here. Just let's see if I can do this. I'm forcing it to be larger. Is this seems like one of those things that you do with your camera club, where you're just like, well, there's a rusty old thing and I'm going to shoot it, and that makes it really interesting. It's okay. It's not bad, but it seems like I'm learning depth of field kind of exercise. There's nothing that makes me go, ooh, or ah, or man, that's fascinating. It's a bolt and some nuts, you know, and some washers, and they're rusty. I don't know. It's not doing it for me.
Yeah, that's the thing. All three of them, they're okay pictures.
They're all okay. This one I kind of like. I'm not sure about the blue and the crow. I don't think of a crow being blue. So there's definitely a white balance issue on the crow, and it won't let me open it in camera raw for some stupid reason. Because I hit camera raw and it says this item doesn't have camera raw settings. But anyway, you know, a black crow I think would be better. And but anyway, they're all right. They're all okay. They're not bad. They're not. I mean, if it was just me and Erik at a bar and I said, "What do you think of these?" Erik would be like,
I'd be like, "Well, it's good you took some snapshots and stuff."
Yeah, there's shrug. Cool. Yeah. Okay, so
cool.
So
again,
I mean,
what's the kind of the next thing though? Would be to take it to the next level.
Well, I think more interesting subjects would start with your portrait stuff. It literally just looks like you held up your phone and took a picture of your daughter, and it may be a friend. I don't know what. Anyway, it doesn't not about the relationship to the person, but it doesn't look like a portrait. It doesn't look like something that you really planned out, and it just kind of looked like, hey, we were at the park that day, and I took this picture, and you know, and you look at it, you know, like let's say it was your granddaughter or something. I don't have any idea. You give it to the parents, they'd love it. They go, oh my God, I love this shot, but it's not. If you paid for it, you'd be like, I paid for this?
Well, with all those, even like you were talking about like the rusty bolts and stuff, maybe that was like we were all together shooting at a camera club thing or something. It was a fun day. You always have to take that side of the photography out of it. Like you have to distance yourself from what your emotion is in the photography.
So I would just ask Erik. Erik, do you think there's any problems with the f-stop or aperture or ISO? No. Are they using the wrong lenses?
No.
Should they have been using a filter and they weren't? So it has nothing to do with the camera.
It's just interesting, intriguing
Show us some
light
more interesting
and
stuff,
subjects, and you know, I think they're trying to.
They're over on 500. There's some interesting stuff there.
But again, it's coming in closer. It's maybe just the position of the
but I mean,
rust
I'm not looking at any of those ones on 500px and going, ooh, rusty bolt. Now that's good. You know, you pick something hard to get a good shot of.
That's what's rusty
you pick
bolts.
Something, it's hard to get a good shot of some rusty bolts. All right, let's take a look at these. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's been to Iceland.
Iceland, yeah. I've been there. Oh, know where that is.
Yeah, I know what that is. Okay, the first two are very nice, very nicely done. Nice post-processing, nice long exposure. You got the nice silky water in the waterfall, and you got your nice silky water here. And they're fine. This one...
It's a hard one because it was so overcast. That black, that's outside of, what is it, Hoff or whatever at the end of there. But
the black sand beach.
But there's that area's black sand, but then the mountains are black too. So it's hard if you don't have any color in there, that it's just hard to bring out that
there's a lot of messy
detail.
stuff in the front. Like there's a lot of messy, it's just kind of messy. So I don't think that one's on the same level as these are.
Clean up the composition.
And also, I'm going to say the same thing to you that you'll hear Eric and I say again and again and again. You're not using a long enough exposure. Like, you did a long exposure, but that long exposure looks like maybe you just cranked it to f22 or you used a 3-stop. Because look at the water and look at the skies not streaking. To take this to the next level, you need... not only maybe a 10-stop, but you need to take the 3-stop you're already using and the 10 and screw them together and do a 2-minute or a 4-minute or an 8-minute exposure. And the difference that you would see in the cloud movement and in the water would literally take everything else that you've done up to that next level. Every time we see it, Eric, we're always going, when was the last time we saw a long exposure that was long enough?
On daytime long exposure.
Especially in daytime. You got to go minutes, not 10 seconds, not 4 seconds. You need to go 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I did one in...
And Scott, that's the combo. If you get a 10-stop and a 3-stop, you can pretty much stack those any time during the day and get a long enough exposure.
Yep, there you go. So that's it. Not bad at all. Actually, quite good. Just, if you want to take it up a notch, that'll help. All right, here we go. Oh, little Milky Way. Little Milky Way. Mm-hmm. All right. That's a sweet shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I definitely like this one.
I like that one the best, too.
I like it the best. I might warm it up just a tad. I don't know if I can do that. Let's see if it'll let me go. Yeah, I would just bring in a little more warmth to it and maybe even darken the edges all the way around a little bit just to kind of put a little more focus on them. Actually, what might be better is to get go to the masking tool, go to the radial gradient, put a circle around them, darken it, and then hit invert. And so that you're actually not that much, but just kind of...
You might even be able to hit select subject and get really cool.
Yeah, I think that right there will kind of do the trick. And then we kind of get out of there. Just a little bit warmer. See that little bit of darkness kind of puts this...
Sculpts the light.
Sculpts that a little bit, just makes it look a little more. But that's still a nice shot, so I'm not going to, that's just minor ticky-tacky stuff. This one is not good. So, number one, there's a saying, 2 hands and a ball. We got no ball. We don't even have 2 hands. We have a chopped off fingers.
Hand.
And it's not an action play. There's nothing going on here.
It's always weird when something in the foreground is so blurry compared to the background.
Now, if he was doing something amazing,
or something would be different.
Hitting the ball off his head or something. But it's just, this one's just is kind of all wrong. It's just sports.
That is a classic sports snapshot.
Yeah,
where it is a snapshot of that player walking down the field.
All right, Eric, this is on you.
I mean, with that one, really honestly, I like where you're going with the road, where you're trying to line up the road, but we don't see the road. So we've got to work on our exposure there.
And this looks like 2 separate photos. It looks like a road, then black,
it doesn't,
and then a sky.
That's what's weird. Yeah, it's like it's. I believe it to be one photo, But it'd almost be better if it was 2 photos where you overexposed the road photo and then basically did the same Milky Way photo. But because it looks like, and it almost looks like you took and just threw some light out on the road with like a headlamp or something, and then just let it fall off. And you need to let in more light.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem there. I'd be curious to see what the settings are in there. I think it's either ISO is not high enough, or the exposure's
ISO
not.
was 3200.
It's never high enough.
Nope.
And then what? How long? 10 seconds?
10 seconds.
Yep. It's never long enough.
15
and
seconds.
What? 15 millimeter, 16
at 6400.
What's the millimeter? 15,
14.
16? Okay, so right
2.8.
there, 14 millimeters means that we could go at least 20 seconds. So we could double the amount of light coming in. Well, now we're a lot better. So double the amount of light and then go to 6400. So
There you go.
6400 ISO, go to 20 seconds on that 14, and I guarantee that picture would be way stronger. Because you had a good framing with the road leading into the Milky Way.
Yeah.
That was good.
All right. So coming up next, we've got more.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Hey, we are back, and we're going to hit some more images.
Boy, that ad had some great shots in it, right?
Yeah, I was just mentioning to Erik, I said, did you see the photo of the little girl in that, like the studio shot of the little girl?
Yeah,
not the one where
the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, like go back and watch that. Go rewind the grid and go watch that and see the shot of that little girl. And you're gonna go, oh. How about now? Okay, let's look at these shots. Here we go. We're gonna look at some doggos. It's a doggo. Looking at the dog. He got the dog. Look at that dog. That's a dog. It's got a dog. Oh, the dogs. Well.
All right.
Overall, I like them overall.
Yes.
I especially like this. This first one's cute, and it looks like an awesome dog. This one is my least favorite because it just looks way too bright. Like it looks overexposed and too bright. And this one I like, but it's really super backlit. I think some of the things that you could do to help
I like
this.
that one the best, personally.
Yeah, that's probably, honestly, it probably is. I just like that. I like the dog in the first one. Like
yes,
it's like a
but I think
bulldog
it's just too. It needs to.
That's
come
not a
over
bulldog.
little
What
bit
is
more.
that? It's a boxer.
Boxer, I think.
Boxer. Yeah, that's. I don't know. Anyway, but this is a very cute dog. But I think the first thing I would tell you is you are getting down low and you're doing some of the really right stuff. Your exposure and all that stuff is good. But I think a better time of day, like shooting much later in the day where the light is making the dogs look better. Like these dogs are super lit, like especially this one, like super lit. And it makes it look overexposed. So we're talking like it's probably a stop or two overexposed. And maybe pull back the highlights a little bit.
I mean, right there did.
And then I would either darken the edges or do that radial fill or something. But anyway, it's just a little too much punch going on in that photo. It's a little too punchy. Same thing with this one. It's just they all seem a little too bright. I don't think I even have my brightness turned up all the way. Ooh, yay! All right, yeah, these are even brighter than I'm thinking. So I'm just thinking pull these back a little bit and maybe just trim a little off the edges here with a little just tiny bit of vignetting.
Well, and you could tell right away when you opened it up, before you did any of that, you had the clipping was on.
Bright.
I mean, you could see that it was clipping in the highlights.
Anyway, but you get the idea. But these are nicely done. I really like the direction you're going. This one, of course, is it's so bright behind. And I don't know if you can pull that back with highlights to really help. But then go in here with the masking brush and brighten the doggo. Just kind of try to balance the light a little bit better. So you can see here, there's just that little bit of, and that's 5 seconds of retouching, so it's not, but it's just the background's just all too bright and stuff. A little better time of day, I think you're going to come away with some great shots. I really think you're on your way, so good job.
Yeah, I agree. Better time of day.
Yeah, better time of day will make a big difference. Let's see what we got here. That was from the last one. Okay, so these are fairly easy photos to fix. What you have is the overlit family.
Yeah,
you've got the overlit baseball player.
Tone down the flash. We got to tone down the flash.
Just turn down your flash. It's just too much light.
Like you need to go a quarter of what the power you got.
Yeah, and you got light spilling all over the place. So you'll know you've nailed it when it doesn't look like you lit it. It's supposed to look really natural, and what you're really doing is you're just overlighting your subjects. They're just overlit. So also you got a lot of bridge here, and I know that you want to show them on the bridge, and I think you can still do that without making the bridge the star of the show. I mean, it's still going to be pretty obvious. They're on a bridge. But it needs to be something more like that. Maybe
you could even put them farther back from you.
That's not crop of the year or anything.
You could even put them farther back from you.
The other thing that I would do is, and I think you would be stunned at what a difference this would make in the photo. I'd walk back about 25 yards, shoot with a 70-200, and put that background out of focus. You'll still know it's a bridge, but it would create some nice separation where you don't have, like, see how this is coming right out of her head?
I mean,
look, he's got a pipe coming straight out of his head. Everybody's got stuff coming out of their head. A little bit of that stuff and a little less lighting, and I think you'd have a winner there, but it definitely needs the cropping. This one's just straight up. It's too bright. And also your light is white and you need to put a gel on that. She needs to look a lot more warm. People look better warmer, and flash outside looks weird when it's yellow, and you got lots of yellow flash there. So put a gel on that flash. That'll certainly help. And I know that you were going for a look with the chain link fence. So, and that's, and some pipe there. It's some 069 wall I think you got there on that pipe. Looks like it's hot dip galvanized. Anyway, I know my fence. So she's just overlit, just straight up overlit. And I would light a little more to the side. But I like the kicker light. You got a little kicker there behind the. You're doing a lot of good stuff. It's just turn down your flash, which is a very common. When I teach flash, I'm always telling everybody, stop shooting at 1:1. Shoot at 25% or an eighth power. That kind of thing. And this one I think is far and away the best. You've got the light pooling in the right area. It's a cute air. It's all nicely done. So I think that is the best one. But anyway, you're well on your way. So I don't want to spend too much time on criticizing the light, because your biggest problem is turn the power down.
Toning down the flash, especially when you're doing those environmental with
Here we go.
sunset. Ooh, selective color.
Boof. Please tell me you didn't make him in color and everything else in black and white, like the shoes earlier. Ooh. All right, so here's the thing. These are literally, they're just snapshots. That's the best one.
I like that one.
That's the best one.
I think actually cropping that one would.
It's the best one because he's the only one giving you anything. She doesn't even know you're taking her picture. This is like a spy cam.
That one's not bad either.
It's not good though.
It's not good.
No, it's not good lighting. The lighting is all over the place.
I don't know. That one might sell on stock. Just say somebody send that
I
down.
don't know. I wouldn't be buying it.
You know, a medical ad.
She got highlights on her nose and on her cheeks and all over the place. Her skin's not. There's all kinds of stuff. It's just.
Yeah, it's not awesome.
And this is Snapshot City, and you made it.
Yeah, that one's definitely. But there's
this
something
one. This
there.
one has
like whatever
potential.
you're doing there, do a lot
it
more
has
of that.
Potential, but. Again, he's not really looking at the camera. He's not looking. He's looking like, take a look at me. I'm at the camera. Hello. I'm at the camera, and he's looking like over here. Now, there is where you have someone intentionally look off. He's in that gray area in between where he's not looking at the camera. He's not looking at you. And again, Erik is right. It's probably the got the most potential, and close it in a little bit on the cropping, and pull down the highlights a little bit in his face.
So that's where I could see that image is coming out. I see what you're doing with the other ones.
Yeah,
I think this is more of picking better things.
Erik is being more gracious than I'm feeling of these photos. Yes. I would say certainly that's the best one, but it's only good in comparison to the other two.
Yes.
If you send in this by itself and say what you think, I'd be like, it's all right. His hat's dirty. There's all kinds of dirty stuff on his hat. He's not really looking at the camera. I like him. I'd say that's what I like about it is him. I think you have an interesting subject. And I think you could work this and get someplace. Mm-hmm. But overall, it's only good in comparison to the other two that are really bad.
Yeah, and I mean, the little stuff you're talking about, too, is important. Like, clean up the hat. Clean
all
up
that
the
stuff matters. Sure it does.
Clean up that stuff. There's no
All right, we'll look at one more,
there.
then we'll go to break. Here we go. Uh-oh. Okay, I like this. The guy's giving you a little attitude. I like the toning. It's kind of got that orange, teal kind of toning that's popular. Nah. I mean, who is more? Let's do the who is more miserable.
Yeah, that
is
one
she
has a
more
weird
miserable
look.
than the teen before? I mean, the misery index is very high in this photo. It's lit okay. I mean, it's okay, but her expression is so bad. I mean, that's you. I don't know how you can frown more than she's frowning. Yeah. Now, I don't mind.
Definitely not flattering.
It's not flattering. I don't mind a serious photo at all. I think if you get a serious look on the right person, it's phenomenal. This is a sad. If it's for a cover of a book with my daughter just watched a movie called They Both Die in the End.
Yeah.
Here's your book cover. There's your book cover for it right there. And then this one, it's not bad. You got a nice kicker light. It's a very traditional thing.
Yeah.
Her hand is overlit, big time. And there's no way to stop. I mean, I shouldn't say there's no way to stop it. It's difficult to stop it because you have the main light on that side. And the hand is closest to the light.
But it's easy to control it in post.
It's easy to control it in post. It's an easy thing to fix.
Like 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
This photo has a very old school look to it. It's very old schooly. And that's, and I don't know.
But
these are light years better than what we just saw before.
Yeah.
And this one I think
I like that one the best.
Is really good. Yes, absolutely.
I like that one the best.
I like the post-processing. I like the toning. I like he's got a little attitude. You can kind of, from the look on his face, tell a little bit about him and all that. She's miserable.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I know.
The middle one though is
bad.
That has to go with expression, right? Yeah. The middle one is just expression. You know, it just does not look good.
Yeah.
So and you could have been emotionally attached to it because of this or that, but it's like we're just seeing it.
When you're photographing people,
we're just seeing it as we see it.
When you're photographing people, you got to get something from them.
Yeah.
You got to get some kind of story, some kind of emotion. Tell me something about them besides they're miserable.
All right. Well, we got to take a break.
Let's do that.
We got to take a break, but when we come back, we'll keep on crushing it.
All right. Let's. I want to be like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. But we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
That was the last two ones. We'll be back.
Hi, my name is Ibarianex Perello. I'm a photographer, as well as the host and producer of the Candid Frame Photography Podcast. And you may also recognize me from another course that I taught here at Kelby 1, my course on street photography. Well, this course is something different. It's teaching you how to become your own best editor. Now, regardless of how long you've been making pictures or how experienced you are with a camera, there comes a time where you have to be able to assess your own work. Not whether an image is good or bad, but what that body of work means and what you want to do with it. And that's the role of the editor, and that's what I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you my own personal process and how I use Adobe Lightroom Classic to look at images from a shoot or a project and discern which of those images are the best and translate them into a gallery, a spread in a magazine, or a book or an exhibition. All those pictures that you love to create into something that has greater meaning than whether that picture looks good as an individual photograph. This course is a lot of fun, and it's a breakthrough for many that I've taught in my in-person and online workshops, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Join me on my course on Kelby 1. You're bound to have a lot of fun.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
We are back, having fun on the breaks. All right, are you ready to see a beautiful picture?
Yes.
All right, take a look at this one. This is a beautiful picture.
Uh-oh.
It's everything.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Dude, look how sharp that is. You've got the movement in the wings.
Oh, the separation from the background.
The separation from the background, the color, the sharpness, the everything. That is just beautifully
that bird
done.
is always moving. And to get it that sharp.
Oh, yeah. They land on our patio. Like we have this little trellis outside that we have plants growing up. And we sit there right at the window and they'll come right up. And they don't come up and just sit there. They go,
they're like,
another one. Anyway, that is just so beautifully done.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is really nicely done. It's just messy. Like it's got all the right camera stuff and the right depth of field and everything. It's just, I think this is such a nice shot that just spending 20 minutes cleaning stuff. Now, what I would clean is I would get rid of this whole thing back here. This.
Even that one up front. Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
I get rid of the holes in this. This is such a nice shot.
It would clean it. It would simplify it a lot.
It would just simplify it and get your focus.
Stuff.
Now, if it were me, I would probably go through the trouble of getting rid of this whole, I don't know what that
like
plant
lily
is
pad,
called.
leaf.
Lily pad, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I'd
leaf.
get rid of that whole thing because it's kind of bright and drawing my eye. But I'm telling you, this is a nice shot. It just needs all of that cleanliness that, you know, so what happens to us as photographers is like you nailed the shot of the bird. You nailed it. And what are you looking at when you look at this photo? The bird. What are Erik and I seeing? The whole photo.
We see the photo.
We see the whole thing. And
That's
so
what people
all that
see the
stuff
photo.
that like, you know, I do see the bird, but all the messiness is taken away from the quality of what you did. So spend a few minutes cleaning. And the last one, this is a really interesting shot. You have a hawk with a little baby hawk cruising with. I mean, that's not very often you see that. The unfortunate thing is that the background, which needs to be way out of focus, you don't have to get this out of focus, but you need to get it as out of focus as the background here. It's such a, look at that baby hawk.
Well, and you could probably, because of the sharpness of the hawk and the bird,
you
could definitely select subject and
then
blur out that background and do what you're
some of the
talking about.
neural filters in Photoshop for blurring the background are pretty good.
Yeah, it'll create like the same blur if you were shooting at a lesser f-stop.
Yeah. I'm going to pop it over there and just see if this is going to happen.
I think you could do it. I mean, it's so sharp.
Now, even if you had to select them yourself, it still might be worth doing.
And even that, you might be able to do select subject, and then you could even do...
all right, it didn't get the little baby bird very well, but it got
you could add it to the
the
selection.
big hawk pretty well. You can see some of the over here.
Yeah, a little bit.
So what you would do is get the tragic wand, hold the option key, and then click to get those areas that it missed. It'll take you a second to get them all, you know, but I think it might be worth it. And some of these up here, it didn't do a perfect job.
Yeah, and then you can control the background.
Yeah, all right. So, and unfortunately, what I'm going to show you here, so you just have just the hawk and a little bit of the baby bird. Little bit of the baby bird. Oh, that's not good. All right, and let me just throw a big blur on that background now. I'm not going to do I'll just do a quick iris blur. I'm not going to go to the neural filters and all that. But if you just put an iris blur back there, a lot smaller. In fact, I think you just pull this off screen so you get the whole. Yeah, that looks kind of funky.
Yeah, it's a little much.
It's gonna take a little work. It's gonna take more than I can do in 30 seconds, but you get the idea. It's still a really cool photo. It's just, you know,
it's just hard.
Yeah, but well done. And that's a home run right there. Home run. All right, moving on. I have to open these in camera raw and see if I can get them bigger. There we go. All right, so you've got the part that everybody else misses down. You got the ball in there. You've got a peak moment of action. You got a pretty cool expression on his face. Here, you got a peak moment of action. He's going up for the shot. Here's what you don't have. Nothing is in focus in this photo. This whole photo's out of focus. The kid's out of focus. The ball's out of focus.
Now, if it was in focus and then cropping in on that could be a really good shot.
Yeah, because you don't even see the basket.
Yeah, I would just crop in.
So the basket's out. You might as well go for the gold here.
Yep, crop way in. But if it's not sharp, then I can't.
Yeah,
you're right there. Boom,
not sharp. Way not sharp. All right. So sports photos, they got to be sharp. This one is you just need to change your f-stop and zoom in more. So that background needs to be out of focus behind him in a big way. Now, I'm going to try select subject. I don't know how it's going to do here. Well, I'm going to just do the 30-second version to show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is not good, but you get the idea. And so then you blur the heck out of the background. He needs that separation.
And that's what would have happened if you would have shot like
in camera. You should have done that
in camera.
Right.
Yeah, you do want to do that.
Yeah,
in camera.
Yeah, in camera. You don't want to have to.
You always want to do things in camera.
All right, and this is nice. This is nice. I like the reflection on the table, and the lighting's not bad on him. I would just keep working with him to get a really great, genuine expression. This is an okay expression. I think if you work with him, he's a cute kid. I think you could probably, I think he's very photogenic, got a nice jaw and all that. I think he would take a good picture, and I like the reflection. I think you're just working a little bit more on the expression, but so you're getting there. Not bad. A couple little camera things, and that sharpness, of course, that's key. All right.
All right.
Here we go. Spy cam shots.
Yeah.
He doesn't know you're looking at him, and he's out of focus. He doesn't know you're looking at him out of focus. Now, is he doing anything interesting? Is there interesting light? Is there interesting color?
Well, you could really take out that sensor dust too.
Is
right?
there? And yeah, the sensor dust is horrendously bad. Is there anything interesting about this photo whatsoever? No, there is not.
It's a moment of wherever you were.
Yeah, there's a guy sitting there. Click.
Because you're trying to do like.
This guy's buying Monster Energy drink at the grocery
candid
store.
Photography.
Click.
You know.
This guy's taking a picture. Click. These are the definition of snapshots.
Yeah.
The guy's not doing anything interesting. It's not good light. It's not good color. It's not a good gesture. This is nothing. This is nothing. This is nothing. This is nothing. These are nothing. These are bad. This is sell your camera time. Okay. Don't really sell your camera.
Okay. So what Scott's saying there is we have to pick more interesting subjects, more interesting light.
Yes.
Shoot something that's interesting. Not just take your camera and point it somewhere and go,
people,
hey, there's somebody sitting on a bench.
Spying on them.
Hey, there's somebody loading something in the grocery store. I mean, that's really honestly what you're doing is just taking snapshots of people as they walk by. And they don't know you're taking pictures of them, which is kind of, I think you're going for street candid photography.
eBay.
But
no, this is not, I was making a total joke when I said send your camera time. But look, you love photography enough that you send in your images, right? Just follow Erik's advice. Ask yourself the question, is this interesting, what I'm shooting? Now, can you get an interesting shot of that guy sitting there? You probably could. If you talk to him, you got him to pose for you, you put him behind something interesting, you got him to do something interesting. Having an interesting photo is really important.
yeah.
It really is. And what you have here are boring photos of just people doing everyday things. Guys shooting a point and shoot. First off, where the hell do you get a point and shoot?
I mean, so the one there, so if you're going for, again, I think you're going for candid street back. So I always go Jay Maisel, right? You're not doing any of the things that Jay Maisel says.
No light, no gesture, no color, no nothing.
None of that.
Go look at Dan Steinhardt.
Yep, that's what,
Dan
I mean, you go
Steinhardt
watch
stuff.
those people and what they're doing.
And you realize,
like, that's what will change it for you.
Holy cow, these guys are shooting people doing interesting stuff in interesting light with interesting color and all. So that's what I would focus on. Don't do the sell the eBay.
So, I mean,
sell your stuff.
I think that's
change your vision.
what's really interesting about that genre, which I don't really shoot, but I know, again, learning about different genres. The one thing I think is very interesting about somebody like Jay or Dan is you would think they're just walking around taking pictures aimlessly, like just snapping pictures, right? And then they just happen to get one. They actually see something, like Jay will stop on the street and see something, and then he will wait 30 minutes for that thing that he saw to happen. You know what I mean? Like he'll wait for the people to be in the right position. He'll wait for the lighting to be in the right position. It's amazing. And that's where it's not as easy as just walk down the street and boom, you just take a shot.
Yeah, they just look like kind of random shots. So,
yeah.
All right, real quick, let's take a look at some shots here. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these are all very nice.
Yeah.
But you know what? This is, I think right here we just have post-processing stuff. Your photography's on the money. But take a look at this. You have this interesting light here, right? This looks like maybe at dawn or something.
Yep.
Light's just hitting the, whatever these things are called.
Hoodoos.
Hoodoos, right?
I think that's Bryce Canyon.
Yeah, it looks like Bryce. All right.
Or around
so
there.
Here's what you could do. First off, let's darken it. Let's add some contrast. Bring up the whites. Let's make it interesting. And like I just moved 3 sliders, and you're just making the shot a lot more interesting. That shot It's a good shot to start with, but you just need a little bit of post-processing to get you there. The next one is just too bright again. It's just, I think you got to lower the exposure. Do the same things. Crank up the whites a bit. Crank up the contrast. And maybe lower the highlights. It's just a little punchy. And the color's a little funky. I'd go more towards yellow.
Yeah, it definitely has.
And then it's just all a bit too colorful. Just bring out the vibrance to kind of get you back. And I didn't do that much there. There's a before and after here. But you've got really interesting light. You're not making the most of it. And then the last one, they're all good though. This is kind of a messy mess up here. And
that's my least favorite of
yeah, it's
three.
Definitely my least favorite. This one's just kind of eh.
And it's
These
a weird,
two
like,
are
with the
on the money.
crop.
So that's my least favorite. That last one's just kind of messy. All right, let's see what else we got here because we're running out of time. Ooh, wildlife. Some nice shots here. Hold on. Let's see if we can open them up. And look at that. Mm-hmm. He's got the fish, mate. That looks nice. You know, given a choice, I'd make the background a little more out of focus. You're shooting at f9 with a long lens. Long lens.
What are they at?
840.
840.
840. 840. So it's a 280 to 840 lens at 840 at f9. And I think if you could have gotten a little, you know, you got.
It's also the perspective you're at because you're it's obviously you're shooting down, so the water's more in focus there. If you were lower and shooting more horizontal, but then the picture would be different.
Look at this. This is nice.
Yeah.
I just think you probably have more than you need here. I'd rather see that.
Yeah, bring it in on the action.
Bring it in on the action.
Yep. Dave Blackett.
Yeah. And then lastly, you've got this one. This is the least exciting. Of course, it's the least exciting bird.
Bird, yeah.
I think it's stork, right? You bringing a baby. Probably delivering a baby. I'm not sure that's a stork, but I know it's delivering a baby.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a.
There we go. Just bring back those highlights so we can see. See, the detail was lost in the belly of the beast. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the highlights and bring those back, and then look, you can see all the feathers and all the detail comes back. So that would be helpful, and then you might even just tweak he looks a little blue, tweak the background a little bit, and you get back some of your detail.
Yeah.
And that's important, and color looks a little better, detail looks a little better. But good stuff, good photographer. I'm very happy to see that.
Interesting.
All right, so this one's a real mixed bag. I saw this one earlier, and I opened this one shot, and I was like, wow, and then I opened this, and I opened this. Because look at this.
Oh.
Dude, that shot's money.
Night and day.
Night and day. Like, I can't even believe the same photographer took these two shots, took this shot. This has got great lines and great graphic nature to it and great highlights and shadows, and these look like snapshots.
And so that's, like we've been talking about today, I think, like, to beat up or to just emphasize, like, the importance of the subject, importance of, you know, the interesting light, that building, when you see that building, you know it's a building, but you're kind of like, I don't know what kind of building that is. I don't know what perspective it is.
It's an interesting building is what it is.
It's just interesting.
And look at the
Where
sky.
the other ones, the other ones are purely just, I was there. And I took this picture. Like I could, again, hand that camera to anybody, and if they would have held it at that spot and done that, they're just, boom, snapshots.
Like Wikipedia.
But it is weird because that one is so good.
I know. All right, here we go.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Okay, so just my quick take on it is this. I really hate seeing this text.
Yeah.
Like Jay Maisel is always talking about, do not include text in your photo unless it explains what's going on over here. Unless you were shooting this for Broadgate Plaza, I would remove that so quick. Because that's the first thing I see her and I go, what is this?
But that's a good point. If it was for that place.
Like if they hired you to do it.
In all other instances, text, we will immediately go to text. We won't go to the subject. We're going to go to the text. It's just human nature.
Yeah. I would love, with the lines and stuff that's going on here, to see separation between her and that background. You've got a great subject, but she's so close to that background. I would love to see some separation. Of course, no words, but get her off there and then put a little bit of out of focusness back there. I think that would make that a stronger shot, but I still like it. This I love. I just wish she was in focus. She is not in focus.
Oh, no.
All right, to get and of course it's crooked, which is not helping either. But yeah, it's super crooked. Let's just see if we can fix that. That's step one.
Now, you mattering on how out of focus that is, you could throw it into something like Topaz and see if you can bring it back.
I don't know. Let me get rid of it. Let's
I mean, I can't see on. That's the hard part.
Yeah, dude, it's out of focus big time. So the thing about doing this, guys, is I know that you wanted movement, and you probably shot it at a very specifically slow shutter speed, so you get that movement. But you've got to pan really well with your subject to where the background's moving and they're sharp instead of them being blurry and the background sharp.
Oh, okay. So looking at that picture, then, so the shutter speed was lower, but the can't, because the background's not blurry, so that means the camera's not moving.
Yeah, she's blurry. Your subject is blurry.
Yeah, probably because of, again, the shutter speed.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, the sharpening is helping a little, but not enough.
I mean, that's where I will say, like, sharpening is that finishing thing, or
I keep clicking apply and nothing's happening.
Uh-oh.
Come on. How about cancel? All right, it wasn't helping anyway. It wasn't enough. It was sharper, but certainly not enough. Okay.
Yeah, it'll do a little, but it's not going to rescue a really blurry photo. All right,
but you see where we are with those. The photographer's doing some good stuff. The last one, the lighting's just funky. It's too bright, and the brightest thing is her arm. So you got to deal with that. She's looking too far, so you have too much of the whites of her eyes. Now that's like technical stuff, right? So if you sent this to like a PPA competition, that they would really nail you over. Way too much whites of the eyes. The lighting isn't super flattering, and this is the brightest. Like you're just drawn right here.
And because the shoulder is so much bigger because it's closer to you, it's like you immediately go there.
You'd almost have to go and get a mask, get a linear gradient, darken it up, and go that way. And that doesn't look very good because I went too far, but pull back the highlights.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not dead on the money or anything, but you got to do something. But this is all very unflattering. Like all of this needs to be retouched. That's not very flattering. And I think maybe even a crop might help here, just to get rid of some of that. Maybe more a head and shoulders type of thing. That shoulder,
but that shoulder's so huge because it's turned towards. You got to think when something's closer to the camera, it's going to appear larger, right?
Yeah, all right, we're way out of time here. Let me there's just a couple more left here.
You could shrink that down. You could kind of de-emphasize the shoulder if you wanted.
Oh, I wanted to get all three photos in here.
Right.
Hold on.
I can already tell we got some cooking. We got some HDR cooking.
Yeah, we got way too much post-processing.
We got some cooking.
The photo's
I can tell
crooked,
this on the thumbnails.
and the dog is out of focus.
All right.
The dog is way out of focus. Your subject is out of focus. So this one, big X. So that's not good. Then you have her cute little girl. Terrible expression.
It's not. It's okay.
It's nicely, the photography is good on this one. So the photography is bad on that. The photography is good on this one, but her expression is not awesome. So you stop before you got to a good expression.
And this is what's so hard about, I do not photograph or do portrait photography, but I respect and admire it because to get that, what you're talking about, getting that expression out of people,
it's hard.
It's very hard.
It's
like
what the
that's
gig
the
is.
secret. I think of anything, you know, like everybody spend so much time on the lighting. They spend so much time on all the other stuff. But the gesture, the expression that somebody gives you.
It's the connection to get that expression, absolutely.
That is the key. And that's why if I'm going to shoot a portrait, somebody has an astronaut helmet on or something.
This one's not only just over-processed. There's not a single thing in this photo that's in focus. Nothing. Not the barn in the back, not the gas pump, not
there's
the
like
post,
numbers on there that are just out of focus.
The whole thing is out of focus and kind of soft and blurry and just, so we're 1 for 3.
Photography. That one's good. I mean,
it's just good. It's just, but her expression's not good.
It's kind of like, meh. Yeah. She's kind of giving you,
Kind of giving you, But, and if you say, well, that's the best one I had, that's the best she did and all, you failed as your job. In the
that's it. You just got to work it.
That is your job.
You got to I'll tell you, when you see people on set, like making jokes, getting people to laugh, breaking down, or if you want to be serious, like, again, a lot of it's just, I don't know. I watch you guys and what you do. I can't do it.
But that's the gig. The gig
really
is to connect with that person.
I know when you're doing portrait photography, you spend a lot of time getting the person comfortable with shooting. Like, people think and I say proportionally, a lot of it is getting the expression or getting the look that you're going for.
It's absolutely that. You take a lot of photos to get to the one where it's just right on the money. Mm-hmm. And you got to work with them to get her to smile and laugh and all that stuff. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be an awesome portrait photographer. All right, here we go. A couple quick ones. All right, we're predisposed to like this, right?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Instant like it.
Great.
Money.
It's a plane. Oh, it's the Milky Way. Oh my gosh, I love
it.
Oh, it's a landscape with silky water.
They're all technically on the money.
Yeah, they're
well
technically
composed.
good photos.
They're all good. Only thing I would say, if I
get that plane perfectly center. It's not perfectly center. They crop it in just a little bit right there. Boom. That's much better.
Yeah.
Much better. Like, if you're going to do the symmetry thing, do the symmetry thing.
If you're going to do the symmetry thing, go all in. I like that. I like that
a lot.
Look at the nice lighting on the foreground.
Again, you could kind of take it up. I think you didn't go high enough. I think you didn't. I think you didn't have a long enough exposure or long enough something. Yeah, something in there where you got to open up those shadows a little bit more, just to get that detail. But again, it's not bad. It's good. It's really good.
It's not bad.
I like the leading line of the river into the Milky Way. That's really nice. I almost I'd love if that plant wasn't there. That
this thing?
Yeah, that brush.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me, but it'd be nice if it wasn't there.
And this is beautifully done here.
Yeah.
Beautifully. Beauty, eh?
Oh, yeah.
It might be a little vibrant, a tad vibrant. Might just pull that vibrance
you could pull it back a little bit.
That's it. Anyway, really good. All right, I think we got one more
I think
left.
That was good.
Yeah, no, good.
It was like everything I love. Long exposures,
it's everything you love in one set.
That was great.
That was the Erik Kuna setup shot. Oh, that was it. That was the last one.
All right.
All right, there's nothing in the last one. All right, well, I hope you guys take that in the manner it was, intended, which is to have you stop and think. And some of you got to really stop and think, where am I going with my photography? How often does it come down to camera problems? Did we tell anybody? Well, we told one guy.
Well, there's the focus.
Lower f-stop.
Then there's a focus issue. And honestly, unless you got a Fuji, that's not the camera fault. There, so. Wait, it's not like that anymore. I want to go there. You remember that? Where that Fuji was so bad?
Oh, do I remember? That went down poorly for us. So anyway, yes, Fujis are delightful now.
Delightful now.
They weren't then. Okay, so just a couple of comments. Did we do our shout-outs? Did we do any shout-outs?
No, but we...
Shout them out real quick.
Oh, we got all over the world. So we got Susan saying hi from Ohio. We had Anna saying hi from Southern Oregon. It dropped down to 4 degrees this morning. Whoa.
That's cold.
Jana from Texas saying hi. Amy from Newfoundland. Bay from Florida. Then we got Paul from California. Janice from sunny Venice. Lena from all the way from Belfast joining us. We got Barbie from Southern Mississippi, Andrew from Buffalo, Mark from Skegness.
Mark from Skegness.
Sylvanus all the way from Nigeria. So we got people joining us all over the place. And we got Cheryl saying, I love your feedback. I have learned so much. I appreciate your honesty. So I hope everybody takes it and appreciates the honesty there.
Jerry has an interesting question.
And then Jerry was saying, I've become very drawn to black and white photography in my work. How well received is it in the consumer and commercial world versus color photography?
You know,
black and white.
It just depends. Black and whites have that kind of, I need to collect this kind of serious photography feel to them. And the right image in black and white is absolutely stunning.
Yes.
All that being said is most of us are drawn to color, right?
Yes.
We live in a color world. So it's sometimes interesting to see black and white, but black and white also makes things kind of look classic and old. It can make things look very timeless. That can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. It's really, there are people that are drawn to black and white, there are people drawn to color, but overall, I would say that unless you're a collector, most consumers are going to be drawn to very colorful images.
Yes.
Prizes
and
time.
We got to give away some prizes. So we've got DAC_EastTN. So
Tennessee.
Singing Tennessee. First time watching live and would love the travel photography book. So you won the travel photography book. And then Jennifer would love receiving Rick Salmon's book. So there you go. And Marcy is watching and would love the On One No Noise. I'd love to try that all the way in Phoenix, Arizona. And then Jeff saying love the Scott's Lightroom book. Andrew Miller has won the Platypod kit. And then Paula Stone won the Boris Effects optics. So if you just email us over at gridprize@kelby1, we'll verify your information and send you over your prize. There you go.
Well, there you go. Another fine episode of The Grid. Any final words of wisdom besides go buy the last ticket to my Prague workshop?
No. I mean, maybe they got that maybe up on my screen now, where I got that website that I was talking about earlier. Yeah, so there you go. Just go to kel.by/night22. And if you want to join me over in Dark Sky, cool. Utah.
Over Utah.
So yeah. There you
go. Nightscaper Photo Conference.
Let's see what else I was working on. I had this Falcon 9 Sunset.
Oh, we got a rocket, SpaceX.
Yeah.
When are you going to shoot the big fat rocket? The big.
Oh, you know.
Does it only leave from Texas?
It only leaves from Texas, but they're having a little bit of issues right now with like to get an approval. They have to go through environmental. There's big environmental things. Anyways, got to go through. So we'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd love to get out there.
Thank
you. It's great. You can like walk right up to the pad. You can't do that over here.
Oh.
No. Be nice for a sunset shoot.
Ooh, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Shiny too, isn't it?
Yep.
Shiny. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Christina and our crew here that come in on a fabulous Wednesday just to do another of the 500 plus episodes of The Grid. Thank you, Mr. Kuna.
Yes, thank you.
See all of you next Wednesday right here. Take care, everybody.